I'm Erin Neely Cox. I'm the United States Attorney from the Northern District of Texas, and I'm proud today to announce that we're launching our district's third Project Safe Neighborhoods initiative right here in Lubbock. And I'm joined today by some of our finest law enforcement leaders in this area and district-wide, all of whom are just as passionate about this project as I am. I'm honored to be standing here today with representatives of our local agencies, and they are committed to be a part of PSN. With me today is Lubbock Police Chief Jerry Brewer and Assistant Chief Neil Barron, Lubbock County Sheriff's Office Captain Joseph Gillum, and Lubbock District Attorney's Office First Assistant Mandy Say. From our state partners, we're pleased to have here Texas Department of Public Safety Officer Regional Director Gary Albus, and I'm also joined by several of our federal agency partners. From the Justice Department, we have ATF Assistant Special Agent in Charge AJ Lugo. We have FBI Resident Agent in Charge Phil Parton. We have DEA Resident in Charge Darrell Walker, and U.S. Marshals Supervisory Deputy Ernest Williams. And from DHS Homeland Security Investigations, we have Special Agent Sergio Guerra. And last but not least, I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Lubbock that have been leading this project for me. Special thanks go out to our West Texas Chief Jeff Haig and Assistant United States Attorney Stephen Rancourt, who's leading our charge in the PSN front. So let me take an opportunity just to tell you all a little bit about PSN. It's a collaboration between federal, state, and local law enforcement that surges resources to pockets of our community that have persistent crime. The initiative relies on the Department of Justice program that connects U.S. attorneys, district attorneys, and teams them up with local authorities to root out the area's worst offenders, to educate people about the dangers of recidivism, and to build goodwill among the citizens and crime victims who are very wary of law enforcement. And what we have found with this program is that when crime lacks a geographic locus, it dissipates. And when a community trusts law enforcement, it thrives. Importantly, I wanted to mention that PSN is deeply rooted in two notions, data and instinct. Let me talk a little bit about the data. When it came to identifying Lubbock's PSN hotspot, we leveraged real-time crime data, working with a top-tier outside criminologist to hone in on what the critical area of enforcement would be in Lubbock. And you can see the neighborhood that we have picked with the collaboration on this handout that you have. It's basically central Lubbock and a little bit of East Lubbock. Unfortunately, violent crime in that area has been creeping up over the past 5 or 6 years. And in 2017, Lubbock reported that aggravated assaults, in particular inside that area, have increased roughly 30% over the past 4 years. And that's where we need to leverage the instinct of the local law enforcement. PSN officers, federal agents who live and work in Lubbock are an important component of our program. They have an intuitive understanding of what resonates in this community, and that's how they cultivate the relationships that are vital to our success. And I was with them last night, and I can tell you this, I saw this for myself. They do have a lot of relationships in the community, and this is going to be integrally important to our success here. We'll rely on those relationships to build an even greater foundation of trust so that residents feel comfortable always calling law enforcement. I want to mention the two other PSN neighborhoods that we have in the district because they are true success stories. In Amarillo, we launched this effort 6 months ago, and in the PSN area, violent crime is already down 5%. And in Dallas, we've seen this work incredibly successfully. We launched it over a year ago. We've brought more than 100 kidnappers, carjackers, and violent criminals to justice. And best of all, Dallas Police Department stats show a 29% drop in violent crime in our PSN Dallas neighborhood in the first quarter of this year compared to the first quarter of last year. So we're confident that working with law enforcement here in Lubbock, we can make the same kind of difference. I want to be clear about something though. You've got fine local law enforcement, and we are not here to displace their efforts. We're here to support them in their ongoing efforts to reduce violent crime in this community and make this a safer and better place to live. We're simply marshaling our resources to complement what Lubbock law enforcement has been doing for decades. To that end, we've set up an email address where members of the community can submit to our folks tips that help us apprehend unwanted subjects and solve crimes. It's LubbockPSN@atf.gov. That's LubbockPSN@atf.gov. And we want to encourage the community to reach out to make Lubbock safer, to work with us as a community to make a difference in their community. This line is monitored by federal agents who will route the tip to the appropriate law enforcement agency. And as the saying goes, if you see something, say something. And it's certainly what we want to encourage this community to do. And of course, if you find yourself in an emergency situation, you need to always rely on 911. But you can email us at this address at any time. I'm also happy to announce that Crime Line will offer monetary rewards for information leading to the successful federal prosecution of PSN crimes in Lubbock. Their executive director, Jim Sexton, is here with us today as well. So bottom line, Project Safe Neighborhoods is a collaborative initiative that draws upon the collective wisdom of all of our great partners. We are joined together to reach one goal, to reduce violent crime in the entire area and make a difference in the lives of the people in this community. I'm going to let Chief Brewer say a few words as well as a few others, and then I'm happy to take some questions.
Good morning. First, I wanted to start off by talking a little more specifically about the PSN area that was selected. The area primarily lies between University Avenue and I-27, with the Arnett-Benson neighborhood on the northwestern edge and Loop 289 on the southern end. This encompasses some of the oldest neighborhoods in Lubbock. They include Arnett-Benson, Jackson-Mahon, Overton, Heart of Lubbock, and Clapp Park and Bayless-Atkins. Neighborhoods whose residents have gradually seen over the years a palpable decline in the vitality and characteristics of their neighborhood. This lends itself to the perception of or feeling of being unsafe in the place where they should be safe, their home. It encourages a criminal element that uses intimidation and violence with impunity for their own unlawful benefit. This can, if left unfettered, cause a neighborhood to stop thriving and waste away. I'm here to tell you the Lubbock Police Department takes the protection of its citizens and their quality of life very seriously. We use all the available tools and resources to bring criminals to justice and make our community stronger through active engagement. Intelligence-led or data-driven policing makes a more efficient use of the allocation of scarce resources, such as violent crime. I'm very appreciative of the U.S. Attorney and for her office's commitment to focus their resources to address violent crime and quality of life in these neighborhoods. I'm also appreciative of the partnerships we have with the law enforcement agencies standing here today. Lubbock, Texas is a far better place already because of it, and I look forward to the results that this initiative will bring.
Good morning. I'm Gary Albus, Regional Director with the Texas Department of Public Safety. I've been in this profession over 40 years, and yesterday we all met and kind of discussed this initiative. And let me tell you what my thought was when I left that meeting. How thankful and blessed we all are to have someone like Erin as our United States Attorney from the Northern District. She is so committed and she cares so much, and it shows. For her to reach out, her team here in Lubbock, federal prosecutors, to come together and discuss this important initiative. And y'all just don't know what that means. So Erin, I'm going to tell you, I want to thank you. Next, yesterday in our meeting, someone talked about how good the collaboration and the communication every one of us have here. And it's the best of the best. And I'll tell you something else that we have is we're committed and we care. Not only this group here, we've got officers here in the back, and we've got men and women right now out on the streets today, and we're all committed to care. And one of our core values at the Department of Public Safety is teamwork. Teamwork. And our definition of that is we partner up with all of our agencies for a common objective, and this is part of that teamwork. And so we're committed. Chief Brewer knows that he can call on us at any time. He needs troopers. He needs special agents. He needs aviation. He needs analytical support. Our crime lab, we're there to help him, and we're excited to be part of this, and thank you.
Good morning. My name is Augustine Lugo. I represent the men and women of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF. I wanted to thank the U.S. Attorney, Erin Neely Cox, and her team, as well as our local, state, and federal partners for including us in this Project Safe Neighborhoods initiative. The men and women of ATF are committed to working with local, state, and federal partners in identifying, arresting, and prosecuting the most violent criminals in your community. For us, these are trigger pullers and people that supply these people with handguns or firearms. Our goal is not to arrest as many people as we can, but protect and serve the community by reducing violent crime and the number of victims harmed and or affected by senseless violence. I believe that relationships and communication equal mission success, and that the PSN initiative here in Lubbock has only strengthened our relationships and our communication with our PSN partners. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Now we'll go ahead and take some media questions.
Yeah, happy to address anything.
When did you say PSN started?
So we're officially launching it today, but we've been working for months on this with our various local law enforcement officials. Yeah. Yes. So this is essentially a Department of Justice initiative, and so all over the country, Project Safe Neighborhood is happening. What we did here in the Northern District is we took it out in Dallas first. We wanted to use the data, to leverage the data, to see how working with local law enforcement was going to help reduce crime, see what was going to work. After that, we introduced it in Amarillo, and we're here in Lubbock today. We plan to do at least one more Project Safe Neighborhood initiative, and we'll be announcing that towards the end of the year. So we have these violent crime reduction efforts all over the district, but the Northern District of Texas is very large, and so we have to sort of get these out when we can.
How long does this initiative last usually? Is there a time frame to this?
No, that's a great question. So we have made a 2-year commitment to this community, and that's another important distinction about this effort. This is not simply a go in, rush in, do a law enforcement effort, right? We're committed to this particular neighborhood for 2 years, and all of our partners have made that commitment as well. And it's not just about arresting people. We're planning on doing community events. We're planning on doing events to educate the offenders that are coming back into the neighborhood about recidivism. This includes meetings at schools. This includes community events that normally you'd see local law enforcement at, but at these events we're going to be bringing in a number of our different law enforcement partners as well as the prosecutors there, so the community can get to know who's working on their behalf.
Who initiated this partnership? Did you all reach out to the law enforcement in Lubbock, or did they talk to the ATF? How did that?
You know, really, there's just, you guys have such great law enforcement here. They partner together all the time is what I've found. It was not a hard sell for us to start talking to folks here and asking if they wanted to collectively work with the federal partners. They do this all the time and have for many years. I think the difference in our effort here is we're all collectively coming together, a larger group, and we're focused specifically on one neighborhood. That geographic location is what's important, and we're focused on it for a short amount of time, a longer amount of time, 2 years, and we are focused on violent crime. You know, we're aware of the property crime in the area, we're aware of the other crime in the other areas of Lubbock, but we are singularly focused on violent crime reduction in this neighborhood. And we have found that when we focus our efforts on one geographic location in a city like Lubbock, the entire city benefits from that effort. Anything else? Nothing? Okay. Yeah, you know, we have done that. I think one thing that we want to be careful about is pivoting too quickly. That's why we make a 2-year commitment. We will keep up with the data. We're going to have that criminologist that I spoke about at the beginning. He's going to be giving us reports on the data. We're going to be seeing how we're doing. We're going to be monitoring the data in the other areas of Lubbock and the other areas of the Northern District of Texas. And we will take a look at it. And what we will do is, if we find that we need to enhance resources elsewhere, on a case-by-case basis, we'll make that decision. But we looked at the data over a number of years, and most currently to come up with this neighborhood, we feel like, you know, it wasn't just anecdotal evidence that we were using to do this. We were using data that we were getting on aggravated assaults, homicides, robberies, and that's what we use to identify the area in Lubbock. So we're confident that we can make a difference here.
What is your message? I know you mentioned this, but what is your message to those residents in this area? I think some of them might be shocked that they're the ones pinpointed. Why is it, I guess, how do you want to say it in a positive way so they're not being scared that
Oh, right. You know, I mean, I think it's a very positive thing, right? Every city has violent crime. We know that. And what we want to do is take this neighborhood who they have had persistent violent crime and tell them that we're going to be there to help them. So I think it's a very good thing for the community. And we found that in other Project Safe neighborhoods around the Northern District of Texas and around the country. They're happy for us to get there. They want to get to know the law enforcement. It's important for us to get to know them. And, you know, we're not just in there to arrest people. We're in there to really make the community a better place for everyone.
Have you spoken with the officials in that neighborhood, or leaders, community leaders in that neighborhood about this initiative?
So as I mentioned, the West Texas office chief, Jeff Haig, and our PSN coordinator here, Stephen Rancourt, they've been doing meetings for months with some of the local officials, and you know, we've made sure to include everyone, and we're going to continue to do that and report on our efforts.